My girl got a jet. Calm down, Leilani. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Leilani of Barbados. Happy New Year, everyone. And thank you so much for sticking with me throughout 2023. 2023 has been coined the year of the narcissist. Big shout out to our girl, Meghan Markle. As a result, we are very familiar with the term now and can recognize the behaviors. Today, I would like to share with you the true crime story of Lindsay Shiver, who, in my opinion, shares a lot of these narcissistic qualities with none other than Meghan Markle. Characteristics such as lack of accountability, spitefulness, and lack of humanity, if I'm honest with you. I have been following this case and I've been dying to share it with you, but it is a case that is happening in the Bahamas in the Caribbean. And so, you know, girl, we are on island time, so there have been a lot of delays and a lot of back and forth. But today, an article has been put out about the case, an update, if you will. And so let's look at it together, and then I will get into all the gory details of the case. Ready? Let's get into it. Ex-beauty queen Lindsay Shiver allowed to spend Christmas in US despite pleas of ex-NFLer husband she allegedly tried to have killed. Girl, let me just read the article. The former pageant queen accused of plotting to murder her ex-NFL player husband in the Bahamas is headed home for Christmas, despite his pleas that she be kept on the island. A judge Thursday granted Lindsay Shiver's request to return to her young children in the US while she awaits the murder for hire trial, which is anticipated to kick off in March. Let me just tell you really quickly, that's a very good result because usually these cases can take 3 years to come to trial, so March is very much an expedited case. She has been remanded to the island nation since July, though allowed free from prison under the conditions that she wear an electronic monitoring device and adhere to a curfew. Shiver and her team told the court she feared for her mental and physical safety and begged that she be allowed to see her children from whom she has been separated since her arrest, according to Court TV. Shiver, 36, will be allowed to return to her parents' home in Alabama under the new ruling, but must keep her ankle monitor on and will not be permitted to travel to Georgia, where she lived with her husband, Robert Shiver, before allegedly asking her new beau to kill him. Her new beau is a Bahamian. Oh my God, I can't wait to get into this. Robert Shiver pleaded for the judge to strike down her request, stating that he is thankful to be alive after her failed attempt on his life. After reviewing the indictment, this was a situation close to happening. I'm concerned for the safety of myself, the Auburn University football standout said. Shiver is accused of explicitly instructing her barman beau, Adrian Bethel, 28, and alleged assassin Farron Newbold Jr., 29, to whack Robert Shiver amid their increasingly bitter divorce. Shiver allegedly sent a series of texts to Bethel asking him to kill her snapper husband. Local police unearthed texts that detailed the plot during an unrelated investigation of a break-in at the waterfront bar where Bethel worked. Both Shiver and Beth, is that his nickname, denied seriously pursuing a murder for hire plan, claiming the text amounted to little more than hyperbolic fantasy amid Shiver's marital combat. Prior to their marriage's implosion, the Shivers split their time between a multi-million-dollar Thomasville, Georgia mansion and a luxury spread in the exclusive Bahamian enclave of Baker's Bay. I'm gonna give you the backstory, girl, and all of the shenanigans and all the details. Let's go on a deep dive. Lindsay and Robert met at university. Lindsay is a Southern Belle girl. She was a cheerleader in college. She was a beauty queen. Now, between you and me, she was like a Miss Peanut County Fair, Peanut Festival County. You know what I mean? Something like that. She was like but once you have a crown on your head, you will always have a crown on your head. We are not here to judge. I know she didn't go to Miss World like yours truly, but we are not here to judge. A crown is a crown. Ask Meghan Markle. And then you have Robert, who is this star American football player, and he is from a filthy rich family. And they get together in university, they get married. Robert Shiver is so fortunate in his own right because he gets a contract, a professional football contract. He somehow has to stop playing American football professionally. I don't know if he was injured or what happened to him, but he gets an even better opportunity somehow. He becomes a CEO of a life insurance company. So they go from strength to strength. As you can imagine, Lindsay does not work. Why should she work, honey? And they have a beautiful mansion. So I'm going to get into their assets now. She gets moved into this beautiful sprawling mansion in Georgia. She gets a big old car, which is like a $90,000. I'm quoting everything in US dollars, by the way. And she ironically nicknames it the Black Widow, which I think is quite foreshadowing, right? Because he gets another house down in the Bahamas, which is about a $5 million villa. It is waterfront. It's not beachfront. It's actually dockside. Now, I just want to go into this a little bit. I'm not trying to be a snob, but in Barbados, $5 million will get you a property on the beach. I don't know why people keep investing in these smaller islands where the infrastructure is not as good. You have to pay for every construction material, every brick. You're paying extra because I think what I've realized is that it has to all be imported in and shipped in and flown in and everything. So you get a house like this for $5 million, whereas in Barbados, you could get a house like this for 3.5 million US dollars. And look, sand in your backyard at your feet. This is not sponsored by the Barbados Board of Tourism, by the way, but if they do want to sponsor me, please email me at leilaniofbarbados@gmail.com and you can sponsor one of my videos. No, but seriously, you get much more bang for your buck in Barbados. It always shocks me when I see these other outer islands and island outposts and how expensive the houses are there. I'm just naming all of the things that she's literally choosing to give up by her bad choices of having an affair with a bartender. Shout out to my bartenders. I know y'all work really hard, especially during the tourist season. I get it. But I'm saying she had everything. Oh, the other thing he gave her for transport was a private jet. Yeah, she got a private jet. He gave her a jet. My girl got a jet. Calm down, Leilani. Now, the sort of town center for Baker's Bay is this beach bar called Grabber's Beach Bar. Sorry, just the name. Bahamas has these names, girl. I'm just like, what? Okay, anyway. Grabber's Beach Bar, which has a pool attached to it. And I shouldn't really be surprised, but the fact that they have a private jet, they go there a lot. Well, girl, the pandemic hits and it's very difficult to get down to the Bahamas as much. So you see where Lindsay's mental health sort of goes on a decline during the pandemic. You see her doing a lot of TikToks and yeah, she just seems really bored. Although she has a mansion, a spread, a land, a husband, children, and all these things to occupy her, she seems to be doing these ridiculously narcissistic TikToks, some of them being very obnoxious and in fact dangerous. For example, this one.
That's what I always do and they never catch me. Ain't nobody gonna catch me.
Because you're too streetwise?
Yup. And all these hoes laughing like something funny.
She's talking about the audience, that they're laughing at her.
Did you say that?
You see that she is talking about, she has a cup that she's putting alcohol into, a to-go cup, a roadie that she's going to be going on the road with, and no one can't stop her and no one's gonna catch her. And this is the disconnect that, like, if I'm her lawyer, if I'm her defense attorney at this point, I'm saying that the pandemic affected her mental health and she knows not what she does. Because clips like this show you that she's not only self-reporting that she's about to do a crime, but she has kids. She's a mother. What is she trying to say? That she's going on the road drinking alcohol? Is she taking her kids? Is she trying to lose her kid? Like, what is she really trying to do and accomplish by this? But again, it is this, and I relate back to Meghan Markle with this, I can do whatever I want and I'm gonna always be right. And you can't tell me nothing. This hubris is part of this narcissistic personality. To want to throw away your life is, or that you can, and that you will still be okay, is insane to me. It really is. So anyway, somehow Lindsay survives the pandemic in her castle where she suffered immensely. And she's ready to travel, honey. Except she seems to have lost her mind. She seems to be going down to the Bahamas not as a mother and a wife, but she's going down there as a single and ready to mingle. I'm just saying, her mental state is definitely different. She went down there and got in a relationship, okay? So I don't know if she thought she was on spring break, honey. I don't know if she thought she was on a girls' night out. I don't know what she thought, but here's my thing. They go on the private jet to the Bahamas after the pandemic. and she takes up with Adrian Bethel, the bartender of the residences that you live in with your husband and not 1, not 2, but 3 children. So at some point, and I always find that, like, I feel like there are not enough hours in the day as it is. When people have that kind of time, where did she get the time? When? Now, let me talk about Adrian. He also seemed to have a lot of time. Bartenders would be working, and when they want to go home, people still want to be drinking. And when did he find the time? He's really taking a passport by any means to another level. So a passport by any means is when women come from all over the world for the purposes of hooking up with a man. You know, finding a local man to hook up with. The problem is that Lindsay's married. These men that hook up with these women are looking for a way out. They're looking for a new life in a new country. A married woman can't really provide that. And don't ever think that they want you to leave your husband. Oh no, girl. They don't want you to tell your husband about them. They don't want you to be proud of them or own them. They want you to be about the relationship and keep sending them the money, okay? The minute you leave your husband, they know that you're broke because they know who controls the purse strings. I'm not saying that this man was only after Lindsay for money. She's an attractive woman. He's an attractive man. They're similar age group. It looks pretty legit. But let's get real. She's married. It's not really very beneficial to him. It's really not her money, and he knows that. The only thing that she does have that might make Adrian go the extra mile to pursue a relationship with a married woman is that she has a jet. I'm just going to speak on that for a minute. Bahamas, and I'm going to be very careful how I say this because I don't want to offend anyone and I don't want to bore anyone either. But historically, Bahamas has had a narco-democracy. They had a prime minister called Mr. Pindling who turned a blind eye to the fact that Bahamas was a transshipment point for narcotics coming from Colombia in South America to the United States. Bahamas was extremely attractive for that because it's got like 1,000 islands. They've got people with private planes, private boats, cruise ships, of course. All of these were pipelines that could help get the narcotics to the north, to America. And so in the Bahamas, there are 2 economies going on. There's the GDP that rates it as like third world, whatever. And then you have this whole other economy that's thriving, a narco economy. So Lindsay would have become very attractive as a woman who has a plane. And I'm saying that because Grabber's Bar has some crazy stuff going on there. When I see robbery and I see bar, I'm thinking there were probably some packets in that bar that people were trying to rob. Probably there was some product there that people were trying to rob. And I'm not talking about the cheap rum. I don't even think Bahamas makes its own rum. By the way, Barbados makes the best rum, Mount Gay, as you know, okay? Anyway, the police were probably tipped off and they raided it and said, give me all your cell phones. So they're probably checking the cell phones to see what could have caused the robbery, what kind of texts were being sent about robbing or whatever. And they end up finding a text saying kill him from Lindsay to Adrian and then also to Farron. We're gonna talk about Farron. He's a whole clown. Now, Farron is a fool. He is a Nepo baby. He has wealthy family. He's one of those wannabe gangsters, rich boy types. None of these people were seriously going to be able to execute this assassination. Farron wants to be a rapper. I'm asking a question. Do you think this is really a serious gangster? Look at this. He has a music video. This is so fool. He's fool. Okay, I'm getting a little bit off track. Farron he just sends me. Girl, I just look at him. I just can't stop laughing. It's just too much. This is not, you know what I mean? This is not a gangster. The text messages, that what we have seen of the text messages, Lindsay saying to Adrian, kill him, and then Adrian writing to Farron, the big bad man that he is. Adrian is saying to Farron, she wants to kill him. He put hands on her. It looks like I'm going to have to come out of retirement. Adrian purporting to be some kind of big bad man, but has now reformed himself into this bartender. Okay. And he might have to come out of retirement and go back to his bad man ways. This is just so foolish, right? What made Lindsay so irate, so enraged that she sent this message to her boyfriend in the Bahamas. Well, it all started one fateful morning, or unfateful morning, should we say. The plan had been made for weeks that Robert would take his 3 children on vacation to the Bahamas, and Lindsay would go on a frolic of her own to Key West, Florida, to meet up with her boyfriend, Adrian. Plans change. Lindsay says that she wants to bum a ride to the Bahamas on the private jet, to which Robert says no, quote unquote, that will mess with the kids' heads, and she decides to call the police.
So what's going on? Y'all are separated, or what's the deal?
We have filed for divorce.
Okay.
We're living in the same house. It's hell on earth, as you can imagine.
Okay.
Y'all have too much money to be living under the same roof. She having a whole full-on relationship with a man, you being a scorned husband, and 3 children who need your attention, to be living in misery in front of those children. You have too much money. One of y'all move out into a condo, okay?
But anyway, woke up this morning. We have travel plans to leave. And he's insisting that I don't go now.
So are you just wanting to leave? Or is he supposed to be going with you?
Yeah, we're supposed to be going with our kids.
I mean, I don't know what it is that you want us to do. I mean, if y'all have filed for divorce and y'all are going on a vacation, other than telling him he needs to calm down, I don't personally recommend you go on a vacation if there's an issue like that and y'all have filed for divorce. He put his hands on you that, you know, have y'all been physically aggressive today? I mean...
No, just besides him moving me out of the way of my car to get to it.
Yeah, but she's also advising that.
Okay, what do you mean he moved you out of the way?
Like pushed me out of the way so he could get to my car and start unloading it.
Okay, we're gonna need to talk to him then. Okay, so what's going on this morning?
So for the last 3 weeks, maybe longer, she's had her couples trip planned with her boyfriend to go to Key West.
The fact that he had to utter those words is wild to me. He had to say that she's going to see her boyfriend and he's paid for her life.
Okay, but she just said you're going.
That was to Key West.
They don't.
I'm taking my kids, my 3 boys, to the Bahamas this morning.
Our kids.
Our kids. Yesterday, she sent a message saying that she's going to change her plans and now get on the airplane with me and the kids to go to the Bahamas.
But I am too,
And
by
when
the
we
way.
land, she's going to go to her boyfriend.
Elsewhere.
And me and the kids are going to our house. And I told her I'm not supporting that. And you're not getting on the airplane. That can mess with the kids' heads. And it's just something we're not going to do. Well, I'm on 50% of an airplane. She, on paper, owns 25 of that. And majority owner, the other 50% owner, and myself are both in agreement to not have her on the airplane. So 75% says we don't want you on the plane.
Okay, so I didn't realize that private planes can be like a racehorse where, you know, you can own a leg of the racehorse. Apparently you could own like a leg or a wing of the plane.
That doesn't mean you get aggressive, push me out of the way, start unloading my car.
Push you out of the way.
Yes, at the back of the car.
Okay. Lindsay, I do not push you or anything.
He doesn't want me to go.
I raised the back to grab my kids' suitcases.
In situations like this, the best thing that we always recommend is y'all separate. Okay, so here's what's going to happen today. I'm going to generate a report that we were out here and that we made contact with the both of you. I'm going to generate a report that states you said he physically moved you away from the vehicle by pushing you away from the vehicle. You say, I didn't do that. I opened the back hatch of the vehicle, got suitcases out.
Suitcase, and she stepped in front saying you're not grabbing them and moved me out of the way.
Exactly. And
I move you, Robert, for God's sake.
that we're not going to go back and forth. That's how we're going to do that.
Well, it's always just going to be a he said, she said.
I mean, you get video footage, you have surveillance cameras, you have something that I can look at and say, yes, he put his hands on you. I mean, you know, we have an independent witness that's non-biased. I mean, you know, something, other statements. But right now I have you and him, and, you know, he's saying one thing, you're saying another. And you're doing it in front of the children now. I don't...
Our plans have been the same for weeks.
Lindsay calls the police for everything. Whenever she has an argument, she calls the police because she wants the police to come and say, no, you're right. This is the lack of accountability, narcissism, craziness. The police, of course, that's not their job.
We're here because of acts of violence, to calm the situation. That's what we're here to do, okay?
They basically let Robert go with the kids and she gets left in the Gulf Stream dust. And this is why she decides to order from the grabber's menu, not fried conch and chips. She decides to order a murder. Let's unpack the whole thing. She's supposed to go to Key West, which is in America. Adrian is supposed to meet her there. It's not very easy for any and everybody to get a visa to visit the United States. She probably doesn't understand that. Some people go to the American embassy in tuxedos, right? From Barbados to say like, I'm a respectable person. I'm gonna come back. This is what people have to really go through. And of course, in her life, she would never know that that is the struggle that people have trying to get a holiday in America. They have to really have a good history on paper that the embassy and the government of the United States will agree to give them a visa. It is what it is. So either that was a reason he didn't get his visa, that's why he couldn't go to Key West, because that's Florida. Another part of that might be that the purse strings may have been closed. Her financial situation might be quite dire at this point that she cannot buy tickets, because like, why not just buy a commercial flight to the Bahamas? Just do your own thing. At some point, Adrian sends her this photo of Robert hugging a woman at the bar. I don't see anything wrong with this photo. I'm thinking this woman could have her husband right there out of frame. I'm thinking this was a greeting, hello. I don't think this was anything. But how petty is Adrian to send her that, knowing that she is not normal? He knows that. Why would he send her that? She now is even worse angry than before. Don't mind she's been cheating. Don't mind that. Her whole defense of these text messages is that it was just a joke. I have not seen any of the transcripts of the text messages, and we don't have all the transcripts, but I've not seen LOL at any point in these messages. You got punked, I guess. That's their defense at the moment. So anyway, that's really what happened. She sends these text messages and they're discovered, and the rest is history. Her lawyer, interestingly enough, is also defending her co-defendants, Fallon and Adrian. This is very unusual. Normally, each defendant would have its own attorney because that way they can get one to snitch on the other and one usually cracks. This is very interesting that they have this united front. However, this attorney does only speak for Lindsay. Whenever he speaks, he only speaks about Lindsay. But I guess she's footing the bill. I mean, it's really her that wanted the man killed. Nobody's gonna throw anybody under the bus. Nobody has a chance at a plea like this. So this is very unusual. This case is very interesting. As you can see, I'm highly engrossed in it and I will be following it and keep you updated on it. Okay, one more thing. I don't know if you remember I said that if I'm her defense attorney, I'm gonna blame it on the pandemic. Well, obviously the prosecution has caught wind of that. I don't know, telepathically, whatever. And they have now submitted a new document that Robert Shiver has submitted saying that she years ago cheated on him with an 18-year-old Bahamian local, and he found her in the house in the bedroom with the boy. So it's gonna prove that way, if he has proof of it, I hope he does, that she's actually not affected by the pandemic. She would be doing this before and he forgave her. I don't know, when you're on holiday with your husband and your children, like, aren't you like constantly rushing, trying to get ready, put on the heels, go to dinner, reservation, next thing to do, next thing. How is she just alone in the house having affairs? And he has to walk in upon her. Why is she not trying to put on her lipstick and blow dry her hair with a cheap ass blow dryer that's in the... How is she not trying to get ready and go somewhere? What is she... How much time does she have on her own? It's insane. Okay, and this is actually the last thing. Okay, I promise. Why was she in an ankle bracelet? Why did she have house arrest? Well, because in the beginning, in the first instance, when she was arrested, he was like, don't put her under the jail. You know, this beauty queen cheerleader cannot handle that prison because apparently this prison in Nassau is quite bad for the Caribbean. It's like very notorious bad prison. I'm good. I'm not scared. And the judge allowed that. Now, however, he has a celebrity girlfriend, honey, and his tune has changed. He's now afraid for his life. He said after reviewing the indictment, this was a situation close to happening. I'm concerned for the safety of myself. Really? So this is a celebrity girlfriend. She is a reality star. Think of it as the Kardashians of the South. I mean, what in the Gone with the Wind? is going on here? This Robert has bagged a Southern belle that is rich and famous, and he is now on a different tune. He's singing a totally different tune. He's like, oh no, I'm scared, she's crazy, no, want nothing to do with her, please, nope, she can't even come to Georgia, no. I don't know if it's that, you know, this woman has talked some sense into his CTE brain. I don't know if it's that he now wants to protect her, that he is now not so lackadaisical and laissez-faire about his insane wife. But girl, he is like, no. Savannah Chrisley, the Chrisley family, you know, this big mogul family. Savannah Chrisley has been through a bitter divorce as well. She's also got her family. They are indicted on fraud charges or like money embezzlement and all kinds of things. I think it's a perfect match. I think they both are in, you know, the courts, and they both know like what it's like to be stressed out with the courts, and they're doing very well together. And he looks very happy, and I wish them the best. I will give you updates as they come if you want me to. Tell me down in the comments if you're interested in this, if you want me to keep you updated, if you want me to fly down to the Bahamas and see what's happening during the trial, because girl, a lot of people are going down there to see it from around the Caribbean. They want to go and find out what happened with this woman, how she really thought this was going to work. Like, people want to look upon her. Anyway, I love you so much. And once again, thank you so much for supporting me in 2023, and happy 2024 to you. And I love you so much. And you know that. Love you. Bye.